Hello, good evening everyone. A very good evening to all of you. Welcome to BYJU'S exam prep and welcome to this session or I should say the beginning of the series that we are doing from today. So many of you would be already knowing about it, but we will be talking about it in detail. But before that, just let me know, is everything fine? Can you all hear me and see me perfectly? Is there any problem? Any issues you are facing? Any problems ki video is not visible or I'm not clearly audible or something like that? Is all fine? Can you all just confirm it to me once? After that we will start with our today's class. I'll be telling you what exactly are we going to do in this series, and we'll be talking about all those things one by one. Hi, good evening Abhay, very good evening. Is all okay Abhay? Can you please confirm it once? Is all fine? Absolutely okay. Yes, yes, yes. Great. Thank you, Abhay. Thank you very much. So, hi, Udit Verma. Good evening. Udit Verma is also saying it is clear. Hi, Sujit Singh Rajpurohit. Very good evening. So, he's also saying it is clear. So, I hope that everything is okay now. Hi, Danish. Good evening. So, let's start talking about it. What exactly are we going to do in this series? Okay. So when we say that we are preparing for CAT 2022, so of course there are three things that come to our mind. One is verbal ability, we fondly call it as English. One is quantitative ability, we again call it popularly known as mathematics. But there is the third area as well, which is LRDI. The biggest problem with this area is that we have never studied this in our school time, and therefore here we start having problems with this area because even the questions from LRDI are assumed to be tougher than that of the other two sections. If you go about the last few years of CAT, you would see that most of the times it is assumed that the toughest section of CAT has been LRDI. So how to deal with that? That is the biggest problem, and I'm just trying to give you a solution of that through this series. We will be having this series, I don't know for how long. If we get a good response, if everything goes well, we might have it up to CAT 22 as well, right? It might go up to a longer time, but yes, it might finish a bit early as well. But the point is that currently what I've thought, that on every Wednesday at 9 p.m. I would be coming live with you guys for some sets of LR and DI, which we'll be discussing together, and we'll be talking about some shortcuts through which we should be doing the questions, some basic tricks, some basic tips which are required for it. And probably I find myself suitable enough to give you all these things because I myself have been writing CAT for now around 20 years. I think I have written CAT for 20 times till now, and I've scored 100 percentile as well in LRDI. So I think that I have got a decent taste of the section, a decent idea about the flavor of the questions that would be asked to you in these exams. What exactly do they check? How can we do those things? So that all would be discussed in this series, right? So that's primarily the introduction of the series, if I say this to you. So we'll start it soon. I see some more responses on the chat box. So hi Sujit Singh Rajpurohit, very good evening. Deburaj Bhagat, Vikrant Balyan, and Abhay, Udit Verma, good evening. Lovepreet Kaur, and everyone else. So let us start with this. What exactly do we have? So as I just told you that in every session we will be discussing some of the sets from LR and DI. We will be talking about some tips and tricks of doing these questions, some shortcuts. So that was in today's class, I'm just taking one flavor of the question. I'll try to pick a different flavor in each class, right? So in one of the classes I would be talking about the questions on linear arrangement. In one of the classes I would be talking about questions on circular arrangement. But of course in one single class we cannot complete the whole topic. So what we'll be doing, we will be having some easy sets and some difficult sets as well, to just get an idea about those. This is what we are doing. Plus, along with that, I'll be discussing about that what are the things that you need to take care of while doing those questions. This is exactly what we are doing. Hi Amatya, good evening. So without any further delay, let us start with our today's class. Okay. So I'm starting with the very first set now, and I'll be showing you the set on your screen. First of all of you would look at that set. right? You'll take some time. After that we'll start discussing that. But today's class, what I'm trying is कि जो पहला set है, the first set, I have taken that slightly on the easier side with respect to the other two. तो उसमें my main motive is to just give you some idea about the fundamentals of it. और उसके बाद we will moving on to the next two sets, set 2 and set 3. They would be slightly difficult, and of course I'll be taking sets from the previous year CAT, ZET, IFT papers as well. So those sets might be from some of the previous years. This is what we are going to discuss. Here is the first set in front of you. I hope all of you can see that, right? The first set on your screen is here now. So I think all is okay. We can start with these sets now. Yes, Sahil Rahman, very good evening. Hi, good evening Kirti Singh. Good evening Gitanjali. Good evening Harika. And I would request all of you to respond to these questions as well. Whatever questions you have, whatever doubts you have, please keep telling me those, because I mean, more and more interactive these sessions are, better it would be for all of us, because we'll of course then start looking for this session कि ठीक है, this session would happen and we'll be discussing these things. मजा आएगा करने में. So वो तभी हो सकता है when you all participate in these sessions completely. So here is the first set on your screen, as you all can see, right? So it's a set, I would say, based upon tables, right? It's a set which is based upon tables. Though there is no specific type here, the only thing is that there is a table made in it. So looking at this table, probably I can see that this is a set of tables, or this is data interpretation, that we can surely say. Okay, so this is the most basic set that I'm starting with. What exactly is given? Let's start talking about it. After that, we will be discussing this complete set, and then we'll move on to the next set. Or wahan jaake then I'll be giving you some time to solve it, and then we will be doing it together after that. Okay, have a look at this set now. The following table represents the data of car sales, both value-wise and volume-wise, for years 2018 and 2019. Some of the values are omitted and are represented by the letters A, B, C, etc. as you can see in the table currently. So there is a data of 2018, there is a data of 2019, and the data is given in terms of value. What do we mean by that? So I hope that of course one can understand that when I say terms of values, that means, let us say I'm talking about Tata in 2018, as you all can see on your screen. So Tata in 2018, what are they doing? They are doing sales of 60,000 lakhs, because these are the sales in lakhs, right? Whereas here it is written L, right? It is the sales in units. So whatever this figure L is, currently we don't know. So here I think we can see this, that 6,000 is here, 1,80,000 is here. I'm talking about 2019. So from here I can say in 2019, Maruti has sold cars worth 1,80,000 lakhs, right? 1,80,000 lakhs. And the total number of units sold by them is equal to 6,000, which is written in the units column. Pehle wala figure is about rupees, the second figure is about units. So that means the first one is the figure which is value wise, and second is the figure which is volume wise. We are given the data for Maruti, Tata, and then we are given the total as well. Maruti is given to us, Tata is given to us, and after that the total market is also given to us. Now apart from this all, on the first column I see there are some figures called market share. एक market share नाम से कुछ दे रखा है. There is something called growth rate as well, right? So what exactly is this market share and what exactly is this growth rate? Now these are the two things that we will start with today. In almost all of the questions of data interpretation, wherever they would be talking about these things, I mean such sales and all, generally they would be talking about a growth rate there, right? And many a times they would be talking about market share too. So let's first of all understand these terms, and after that we will start filling this table. So these terms are that when I talk about market share, I hope the name itself is sufficient to tell you that it is the share in the market. It is the share in the market. For example, when I talk about 2018, the market share of Maruti is 37.5%, whereas the market share of Tata is 25%, whereas the total market share is 100%. So of course that 100% is quite okay. It has to be 100% at all the places, because market of itself would always be 100%, right? What is the market share of market in the market? It is like that only कि market share का market में क्या share है. अब market share का market में क्या share होगा? It would be the market itself that is equal to 100%. But when I talk about this 37.5% here, this 37.5% says that Maruti sold, right? Maruti sold cars worth 37.5% of the total market. Maruti sold cars worth 37.5% of the total market. What does that mean? That means 37.5% का मतलब ये हुआ that if the total market of cars was of 1000 rupees, मतलब 1000 rupees की अगर total market में कार बिकी, so 375 is the market share of Maruti out of that. मतलब उन 1000 rupees में से 375 rupees की कार मारुति की बिके. Similarly, 25% is the market share of Tata. That means if the total market is 1000, that means Tata sold cars worth 25 rupees. And if Tata sold, 250 rupees, 1000 में से 25% is 250. If Maruti sold 37.5% of the cars, Tata sold 25% of the cars, and if I just add them, 37.5 and 25, just try to add them. 37 plus 25 is 62, so their total becomes 62.5. That means 62.5% worth of cars were sold by Maruti and Tata together. That automatically means there are other cars as well in the market. I can't say that Maruti and Tata are the only two companies which are selling their cars. So this clearly tells us that Maruti and Tata are selling 62.5% of the total cars. So the remaining cars are being sold by the other companies which are not mentioned in the table. The same figure is happening in terms of units as well. यहाँ पे हम जब 37.5 और 25 की बात कर रहे हैं, that is exactly about the total number of rupees in terms of market. Whereas जब मैं बात कर रहा हूँ units की, that total number of cars sold. तो टोटल नंबर ऑफ कार जितनी है उसमें से हाउ मेनी कार्स वर सोल्ड बाय टाटा एंड हाउ मेनी कार्स वर सोल्ड बाय मारुति. यू माइट थिंक आई मीन वंस इट जनरली कम्स टू आवर माइंड कि सर जितने आप ये कहोगे कि जितने रुपीस की कार बिकी हैं, सो ऑफ कोर्स उतनी ही यूनिट्स होंगी कार्स की, बट दैट इज नॉट ट्रू, राइट? For example, for a car like Mercedes, right, and a car from Maruti, the number of units of cars might be very less for Mercedes, but the revenue can be higher than that of Maruti. That's a possibility. Because the normal average, price of a car from Mercedes would probably be 40-45 lakhs. How would I know? मतलब एक गरीब टीचर कैसे पता लगा सकता है? मुझे मारुति का शायद पता होगा. The average price of a Maruti car probably would be somewhere around 4 to 5 lakhs. So of course जहां average price 10 times हो गया, तो that means even if Mercedes sells 1/10 of the car sold by Maruti, still their revenue would be the same. So this is what it means, right? So first of all, till this point, is everything clear to everyone? Please confirm once. Once you write in the chat box that yes, it is clear. So it basically does two things for me. First, मुझे ये पता लग जाता है आपको क्लियर हो गया, और सेकंड मुझे ये भी पता लग जाता है दैट यू गाइज आर अटेंटिव, यू आर लिसनिंग टू मी. सो प्लीज राइट दैट. आफ्टर दैट आई विल मूव फॉरवर्ड एंड देन वी विल स्टार्ट फिलिंग दिस टेबल. इसके बाद फिर हम लोग जो है ये काम करना शुरू करेंगे. Is that all completely clear to everyone? Please confirm once. Udit Verma is saying yes. So I am assuming that others are also able to listen to me. Yes, there is a gap between us. I mean, whatever I speak and whatever reaches you. So there is a gap of some seconds in that. So when I say something and I ask for a response, so even if you responded on it, so I would be getting that response after some time. थोड़ी देर के बाद मुझ तक पहुंचता है. Now I have got the response from Pallavi. She says yes. Harika says yes. Love Preet and Sariga also says yes. Great guys. Kriti too. Thank you very much. चलिए जी, let's move forward. Hi Gitanjali. Yes, Gitanjali says yes. तो चलिए आगे बढ़ जाते हैं अब इससे हम लोग. Now we will be talking about the next thing. Let's start filling this table now. That how do we fill this table? Let's start talking about it. Oh, but one more thing is left abhi to. That is, what is growth rate? Let us start talking about growth rate as well. That is also an important part for us. Now, when I say growth rate, so it is formed by two words. One is rate. Rate means percentage, and growth means increase. But increase on what? So if nothing is mentioned, automatically it is assumed that growth is taken on the previous year. So if the growth rate is 50%, that automatically means this growth is from the previous year. For example, here the growth rate is 50%. This means whatever number of cars were sold by Maruti, they were 50% more than that of previous year. Of course, that is 2017, though that is not mentioned here. But from here you can say कि Maruti की number of cars, rupees of cars, right? Total value की अगर बात कर रहा हूं, that is A, it was 50% more than 2017. So in 2017, let us say Maruti sold cars worth 100 rupees. So in 2018, they would have sold cars worth 150 rupees. This is what growth rate means. So keep that in mind. Growth rate का मतलब होता है that percentage increase over the previous year. If nothing is mentioned, it is always assumed on previous year only. That is the one simple rule. Otherwise, he will categorically write it in the question that we are talking about growth over 3 years back or 4 years back or something like that. It would be given to you in the question. So now we'll start doing the first thing, that is we start filling this table. How do we fill the table? Okay. First, I'm looking at the value wise figures. So first of all, look at this portion. From here, can I say that Tata's sales are 60,000 rupees in 2018 and these sales are 25% of the total. So 25% of the market is 60,000. Can I say the total market would be 2,40,000? Right? Because 25% means 1/4. If 1/4 of something is 60,000, that something has to be 60 into 4. So 60 into 4 is 2,40,000. And then I see that the market share of Maruti is 37.5%, which is 3/8. So if I calculate 3/8 of 2,40,000, 3/8 of that would be equal to 90,000 rupees. Right? So 90,000 rupees is the sales of Maruti in 2018. Right? 2,40,000 is the total sales in 2018. Currently, probably I can't calculate I and C because what are they representing? I and C are representing the growth over the previous year. Because I do not have the data of previous year, of course, I cannot calculate I and C from here. So these can't be calculated. Let's forget about them. Okay, let's move ahead. इससे आगे बढ़ते हैं. Now in 2019, I see that Tata's growth rate is 66.67%. I told you growth rate is always on the previous year. So Tata is 66.67% more than the previous year. For 2019, the previous year would be 2018. Now what was the total sales in 2018? It was 60,000. This 60,000 has increased by 66.67%. 66.67% is 2/3. So when you increase 60,000 by 2/3, 60,000 ka 2/3 is 40,000. So this value would become 100,000. That is equal to 1 lakh. I repeat, how did I reach this figure of 1 lakh? This 1 lakh is 60,000 plus 66.67% of 60,000. अब 66.67% is 2/3. 60,000 का 2/3 निकालोगे, that is 40,000. 40,000 increase होके that has become 1 lakh rupees. This is how we get the figure of E as well. Okay. I hope till now everything is okay. Also, I see that the total growth rate of the market is 25%. So last year the market was 2,40,000 and it has increased by 25%. So 2,40,000 plus 25% is equal to 3 lakh. So this figure D would be equal to 3 lakh. I repeat, whenever you have a doubt, please let me know. I will repeat that portion, right? If everything is okay, that means we'll keep on going then. So just write it in the chat box whenever you get a doubt in any of the points. Now, how do I get the value of H, F and G? Currently, I'm just talking about all the values which are in terms of sales, rupees, value की terms में. अब ये H क्या है? This H is telling you the market share of Maruti in 2019. Market is 3 lakh. Maruti is 1,80,000. What is the share? It is 60%. So I can say the value of H is equal to 60%. Similarly, market share of Tata कितना होगा? Their sales is 1 lakh. Total market is 3 lakh. 1 lakh is what percentage of 3 lakh? It is 33.33%. So that ways I get the value of F as well. So these are the values of H and F. फिर बात आती है G की. What is G? G is representing the growth rate of Maruti. This year Maruti is 1,80,000. Last year it was 90,000. Can I say it has doubled from the last year? Doubled का मतलब it has increased by 100% and therefore the value of C is 100%. So I can say in the value wise figures, apart from I and C, I can calculate everything. Apart from I and C, I can calculate everything. I hope this all is okay. Kirti Singh has a doubt, sir, value of D. Kirti Singh, value of D is the total market of 2019. We got this actually from the growth rate of D. So Kirti, if you look at the growth rate of D, it says 25%. And I told you growth rate is always from the previous year. So 25% वो ये बता रहा है that the total market has grown by 25% over the previous year. The total market has grown by 25% over the previous year. So previous year it was 2,40,000. It has grown by 25%. So if you add 25% in 2,40,000, you get 3 lakh rupees, and that ways these figures are calculated. And I'm pretty sure now you can calculate the other values also by yourself. I'm just doing that a bit fast now. So 10,000. अब अगर मैं बात करता हूँ volume wise, total market is 10,000. Market share of Tata is 22%. So 22% of 10,000 is 2,200, right? But market share of Maruti, sales of Maruti, none of them is known to us. All three are, variables. How can we calculate that? We can't. Let's move forward. Next year, I see that there is a growth rate of 25% in Maruti. Now, this is an important point again. Maruti has grown by 25% to become 6,000. So can I say this 6,000 is nothing but 1.25 times of K? Is that right? A growth rate of 25%. I told you growth is always taken on the previous year. So this 25% growth is on previous year, that is K. So K increased by 25% would become 1.25K. And if 1.25K is 6,000, then what is K? It is 6,000 by 1.25 that you can calculate as 4,800. This is 4,800. Similarly, this is 50%. So it has grown by 50% over the previous year. Previous year कितना था ये? 2,200. 2,200 increased by 50%. It becomes 3,300. 15,000 का 3,300 is 22%. 15,000 ka 6,000 is 40%. The total market which was 10,000 has become 15,000. The growth rate is 50%. I did them a bit fast because we have already done similar things in terms of values already. तो इसलिए इस पोर्शन को मैंने थोड़ा सा फास्ट किया है. सुजीत सिंह पूछ रहे हैं how did we get the value of E? Okay, Sujit, to get the value of E, what did we do? I have already written that on the top of the table here, that last year this figure of Tata was 60,000 and it has grown by 66.67%, which is 2/3. अगर आप 60,000 में उसका 2/3 ऐड करोगे, you would get 1 lakh rupees. 60,000 plus 2/3 of 60,000, that will be giving you 1 lakh rupees. So here also in this second table you can say now J कितना बनेगा? 10,000 का 48% होता है J, and T cannot be calculated. So T, I and C, These are the three values which are still unknown for us. All other values we could calculate. All other values we could calculate. So I'm just writing all these values on the next page to just give you an idea, because now it is quite of hodgepodge. So just have a look at this screen. Have a look at this screen. So I hope everything would be visible to you over here. Maruti, Tata, total market in 2018, 2019. What is the market share? What is the growth rate? Three values we have not been able to calculate. Those are 2, T, I and C. All other values are there in front of you. All other values are in front of you. I hope the concept of market share and growth rate is clear to all of you, which is the main purpose of this. Now, I mean, doing the questions would never be a difficult task, but again, in the questions, what all things can be there, I will be talking about those as well one by one. So let's start with the questions. First thing, what is the value of A plus B minus E? So when I talk about A plus B minus E, A is this figure, B is this figure, E is this figure. So I have A as 90,000, B as 2,40,000 and E as 1 lakh rupees. So what is A? It is 90,000 plus B, which is 2,40,000 minus E, which is equal to 1 lakh rupees. So from here I can get the answer. कितना आ जाएगा ये? 2,40,000, 3,30,000. So 2,30,000 is the correct answer for this question. So I mean my calculations can be slightly up or down, but I hope the concept is clear. वो आप समझ रहे हैं. That is the more important part. Similarly, if I move on to the second question, what is the percentage by which J is more than N? So what is J and what is N? Let's calculate them. J and N क्या है? So J कहाँ पर है? This is J and this is N. So J is 48%, N is 40%. So by what percentage 48% is more than 40%? So this is an important question. I've deliberately put it here because many a times many students might make a mistake of writing 8% here. Ki 48% is what percentage less than 40%? 8%. No, it is not 8%. 48 is 8 more than 40, but this 8 would be calculated on a base of 40. This is 20% actually. The answer for this question would be 20%. ये ध्यान रखिएगा. If I ask you 48 is what percentage more than 40, you would say 20%. So if I ask you 48% is what percentage more than 40%, still it is 20%. Right? The only point is previously it was 8 by 40. Now it is 8% by 40%. Percentage cancel out. Okay. The answer anyways would be equal to 20% only. Though there is a question कि सर अगर फिर 48 minus 40 आंसर देना होगा तो क्या क्वेश्चन होगा? I will be talking about that as well कि उस केस में हम लोग क्या वर्ड यूज करते हैं. Here the answer would be equal to 20%. I hope that you have understood. But when it says what is the percentage point difference between R and H? Percentage point difference between R and H. So what is R? What is H? R कहाँ पर है? This is R. And where is H? This is H. So basically R is 22. H is equal to 60. So that means I can say R is 22. H is 60. What is the percentage point difference between them? This is 60 minus 22, directly 38. This is the percentage point difference between them. So percentage point difference का मतलब होता है 1% minus second percentage. But percentage difference का मतलब होता है the base also has to be taken. Otherwise you would call it wrong. ठीक है, उसके केस में बेस भी इंपॉर्टेंट होगा, अदरवाइज यू वॉन्ट बी टेकिंग इट. सो दिस इज व्हाट दिस थर्ड क्वेश्चन इज सेइंग. आई होप दिस इज क्लियर टू एवरीवन. व्हाट इज द परसेंटेज डिफरेंस, व्हाट इज द परसेंटेज पॉइंट डिफरेंस, both the things are clear to all of you. I move on to the next question now. What is the value of T if the sales per unit of Maruti in 2000 sales was 15 lakhs? Now how would I find out the sales पर यूनिट फॉर मारुति? ये मैं कैसे कैलकुलेट करूंगा? दैट टू ऑफ 2017. सो सेल्स पर यूनिट कैन आई से इट इज द सेल्स इन रुपीज डिवाइडेड बाय द नंबर ऑफ यूनिट्स एंड बोथ द थिंग्स आर टू बी टेकन फॉर 2017. इज दैट राइट गाइस? सेल्स पर यूनिट का मतलब हुआ द टोटल सेल्स, राइट, डिवाइडेड बाय द टोटल यूनिट. सो पर यूनिट का मतलब ही ये है, द टोटल सेल्स व्हेन डिवाइडेड बाय टोटल यूनिट, यू गेट द पर यूनिट चार्ज ऑफ दैट. So this is what sales per unit is called. But he is talking about 2017 now. But we have the data of 2018 only. He says this is equal to 15. So what is the value of t? कह रहा है कि ये बताइए कि t की वैल्यू ये क्या आएगी. This is what you have to figure out. So now when I talk about 2017 here, I think this is not visible to you. So let me just remove it. हाँ जी, let us say I talk about 2017. In 2017, I don't know what the sales are. Let us call them X. I don't know what are the sales in rupees, but I know they are 50% more, right? I hope you all can see this 50%. That sales of 18 are 50% more than the sales of 17. So by that logic, can I say sales of 17 are 60,000? I mean, how did I get that? 90,000 किसी नंबर से अगर 50% ज्यादा है, you divided by 1.5, you get 60,000, right? 90,000 was 50% more than the previous year's figure. So I just divided 90,000 by 1.5 and that gave me the figure. So this figure is 60,000. This figure is X. Total is equal to 15 lakhs. So 60,000 lakhs divided by X is 15 lakhs. तो वो lakhs से lakhs मैंने काट दिया है. The value of X comes out to be 60,000 divided by 15, which is equal to 4,000. So I can say the value of X is equal to 4,000. Question is asking you about T. That means what is the percentage growth? तो 4,000 से अगर वैल्यू हमारी 4,800 हो गई है, what is the percentage growth? It is 20%. So therefore the answer for this question is equal to 20%. Basically it required an extra step over here because I had to first calculate the value of X and then I had to calculate that this value is how much more than that value of X. I hope all of you are getting these values as well. आपको क्वेश्चन समझ में आ रहा है, though I am trying to go as slow as possible. But please keep writing that in the chat box. I repeat, because that is the only way through which we all can interact, the only way through which I can get to know whether you guys are able to understand the concept or not. So please write it there if you understand that. And there is another thing that you can do, that you can like the session as well. That more the likes, I would feel better about it, that yes, people are liking it and they are understanding it as well. So that all becomes good there. Okay. So there is another question that I am taking from it. If the profit percentage of Tata in 2019 was 50%, then what was the cost per unit for Tata in 2019? Assume sales and cost of cars only. That means the data which is given to us in the table, उसी के बारे में बात हो रही. So the profit percentage of Tata was 50%, right? Now what is profit percentage? I'm pretty sure all of you would have gone through profit percentage already. That profit percentage is basically profit calculated as a percentage on cost price. I hope you all know that, right? Profit as a percentage of cost, that is called profit percentage, right? Profit as a percentage of cost is called profit percentage. Now if profit is calculated on cost price, then what is my selling price? The selling price is cost price plus the profit percentage of cost price. Agreed? The selling price is equal to cost price plus the profit percentage of cost price. I'm sorry, Kirti Singh, I just saw your message. It just reached me when we are already on the second question. So you can check it later as well. If you still find it out, you can always message me and then I would answer. हाँ जी. Now what is selling price? ये जो figures है ना, ये sales की ही तो हैं, and that sales is called selling price, right? So when I'm talking about Tata in 2019, Tata in 2019 was equal to 1 lakh rupees. So the selling price is 1 lakh rupees. That is equal to cost, let us say that is X, plus profit percentage of cost, that is equal to 50% of X. So can I say from here that this 1 lakh rupees is equal to 1.5x, or I can say X is equal to 1 lakh divided by 1.5. This will be 2 lakh divided by 3, and 2 lakh divided by 3 is very close to this 66666. It is very close to 66666. So that means the cost price in lakhs for Tata was 66666. Question is asking what is the cost per unit. So you have to divide by units. How many units are sold? I hope all of you can see the number of units here is 3300. When you divide it by 3300, this comes out to be very close to 2 point कितना आ जाएगा ये 2.2 के आसपास आ रहा है. So approximately 2.2 lakhs. So 2.2 lakhs के आसपास हमारा आंसर 2.02 आ रहा है क्या? I think 2.02 lakhs. So that becomes the right answer for us. Okay. This is what profit per unit, or sometimes we call it profitability as well, right? So normally there is a small difference between profit and profitability, but yes, when profit percentage word is used, you are assumed to know this, that profit as a percentage of cost is called that, right? But when profitability word would be used, he would always tell you that this is what profitability is called. So it would be given to you in the question, you use that and then you try to answer that. Okay, so that was the last question of this first set. I am pretty sure that all of you would have got it, and the concept would also be clear. So now I will give you a window of 30 seconds. If you have any question anywhere, please let me know. Otherwise, we will be doing another set almost like this, but this time from actual CAT. This was a set that I just took from somewhere, and the next one would be the actual CAT paper. So any doubts? I am ready to take any doubts now. If there are no doubts, please like the session. If there are doubts, write your doubt and then like the session. So both the things can be done simultaneously as well. Okay. Is all okay? Yes. So till now I don't see any doubt. Kirti had that doubt. I am pretty sure Kirti would be able to clear that after the class as well. Otherwise also Kirti can message me. Okay, I do not see anyone sending any doubt somehow. So there might be a gap as well. As I said, थोड़ा देर में हो सकता है मुझ तक पहुंचे. So I am just waiting for another 5 seconds. If I get anything, I'll take that. Otherwise, we will move forward. Yes, Kirti says, if possible, just repeat the last point of fourth question. Okay, Kirti, I would do that then. Okay. The last point of fourth question. Okay. In this fourth question, Kirti, we got to know about the sales in terms of units. We got to know about the sales in terms of unit, that too of 2017. We got it by making this equation and solving it for x. Now, the sales of Maruti in 2017 was 4,000 and sales of Maruti in 2018 was 4,800. So 4,000 has become 4,800. What is the increase? You would say there is an increase of 800 on a base of 4,000. So on 4,000 there is an increase of 800, that is 20%, which is I have written as the answer here. Okay. Okay everyone, so I hope this is clear now. So we move forward to the next set. It is a set from CAT 2018, almost similar to the type of set that we have just done, but they have just added some extra steps into this. So please read this for some time. After that, we will start solving this set. Okay. So I'm giving you 3 minutes to read this time. So I will start a timer as well here. This is the timer. I hope the timer is visible to all of you. Is it visible? Is the timer visible to all of you? But I don't think it will be visible. Because it is not embedded into the presentation, so only I can see. But anyways, you guys just keep watching this set over here. Just read it once. Okay, read this first line that is above the graph and read this line clearly. You can also take a screenshot for further reference. That what is profitability? It is defined as the profit as a percentage of revenue. It's a set from CAT 2018. Okay. Yes, Pallavi, I got it. Somehow I think it is on my screen only. You guys can't see that, but it is moving on. On my screen, it is going on. But anyways, what is the point of that then? I can even close that. Yes, I hope you have read it now. So clearly read the definition of profitability. Take a screenshot of it if required for further references. Profitability is defined as the profit as the percentage of revenue. Profit as a percentage of revenue. There is more information on this, which is on the next page. Now read this information clearly, right? And then we will start solving it. All of you read this information and then we will start solving this question. There are four brands. This is already given: A, B, C and D. So you might be thinking what kind of names are these which we can't even pronounce, but these are given in actual CAT only. So details about their market share, unit selling price and profitability are given for year 2016. This table is all about 2016. And then you have this all information. This information is about 2017 as well, right? So we have already discussed what is the market share. We have already discussed what is the unit selling price. Unit selling price is per unit selling price. That's one or the same thing. We just discussed about it, that what is the per unit price. Profitability, as I said, he would always define it. So he has already defined. Profitability is the profit as a percentage of revenue this time. Profit as a percentage of revenue. So ये जो market share होता है, this is also of the revenue. And revenue is normally called the selling price. So basically this time he's saying that this profitability is to be taken on the selling price. The profitability is to be taken on the selling price. When profit is taken on cost price, we call it profit percentage. When it is taken on the revenue or selling price, you may call it, that is called as profitability. I hope all of you have read it, so we can straight away start solving it together. Okay. Okay, let us do it now. Okay, let's start solving this set. So what are we going to do? So what I have done, that I have written all these values on the next page as well, and I have made another table for 2017 because data is talking about 2017 a lot. So I have made another table for 2017 along with the table of 2016. We'll start filling up all these values and then we'll see what are the answers for these questions and pay attention to those questions as well. ठीक है, just by solving this set आपको अगर ये लगे that you have made the table and that's it, your job is done, it is not done. So please stay with me till the time we do all four questions of this set, because that is a very important message that I want to give you there. You will be talking about that as well, so just pay attention to it. Okay, in 2017 the sales volume of entry level smartphones grew by 40% as compared to that in 2016. Sales volume of entry level smartphones, that means previously, let us say, only 100 smartphones were sold. In 2017 that 100 has become 140. It has grown by 40%. So if previously the market was of 100, now the market is of 140. This is the kind of thing that he's trying to say here. I hope you got it. I repeat, sales volume of entry level smartphones grew by 40%. That means whatever was the number of smartphones being sold in 2016, in 2017 40% more than them are being sold. तो अगर वो 100 था तो 140 हो गया है. If it was 200, it has become 280, 300 है तो 420, that ways. Okay. C offered a 40% discount on its unit selling price in 2017. So in 2017, can I say the unit selling price of C is 18,000? Is that correct, guys? Because they are giving a 40% discount over here. I hope you all can understand. C is offering a 40% discount on the unit selling price of 16. So 16 में the price was 30,000. You decrease that by 40%. Discount means a decrease. Decrease that by 40% and you get 18,000 in 2017 as the unit selling price. Move ahead. Which resulted in a 15% increase in its market share. Now here I think they should have been more, probably specific about this, that when the market share has grown by 15%, they should have written 15 percentage points. This is what a mistake that they had made at that stage, that they should have written it grew by 15 percentage points. So if it grew by 15 percentage points, so their percentage was 15 market share. So now अगर वो 15% से बढ़ जाएगा, it would become 30%. So their market share next year became 30%. Their market share next year became 30%. Next. Each of the other three brands lost 5% market share. Okay? All the other three lost 5%. So this 40 became 35. This 25 became 20. And this 20 became 15. And they all still add up to 100. ध्यान से देखिए 35, 20, 30, 15 they all add up to 100, which means that all the entry level smartphones are of these four types only. Any entry, just in the previous question we saw that apart from Maruti and Tata, I told you there could have been other companies as well because their market share was not totaling up to 100. Here they all add up to 100. They all add up to 100. So I can say in 2016 as well as 2017, these were the only four only four smartphones in the entry level market. Okay, entry level smartphones के market में these were the only four. Let's move forward. आगे बढ़ते हैं. However, the profitability of C came down to half of its value in 16. So what was its value in 16? Profitability of C, it was equal to 40. It came down to half of its value. That means it became 20%. और उसके बाद वो कहता है the unit selling price of the other three brands and their profitability value remains the same in 17 and 16. So for all the other brands, their unit selling price remained the same in 17 too, right? And their profitability also remained the same in 17 as well. So that means these are the final figures for 2017. I repeat, it's a question of CAT 2018 that we are doing here. Right? So once our table is complete, then we can start solving the question. I mean, this is what a normal candidate would of course be doing. I mean, you straight away start with a set. You see a table is given to you. Some data is given to you. Using that data, first of all, you try to fill up the table. You try to fill up all the columns which are given to us, right? You complete it and then you move on to the question so that it becomes easy for us to straight away look at the question and answer it. Otherwise, I'm not going to do calculation for each and every question separately. That doesn't make any sense, right? So what we are going to do, we fill up the table, we move ahead, and then we start solving the question, right? So please give me a thumbs up if you all have understood this table completely. There is no doubt about it at any step. If you have any problem at any of these figures, do let me know so that I can repeat it. Otherwise, I'll move forward to the questions then. Are all the figures clear? Though I clearly see there was not much change in the figures. He said unit selling price changed only for C because it decreased by 40%. So from 30,000 it became 18,000. The market share, it decreased by 5% for three of them, but increased by 15% for one of them. Whereas profitability, it remained the same for all of them except for C, for which it became half of what it was initially, right? So that is the complete table. Now let's start looking at the table, and I told you that do not move ahead because the table is important. I want to tell you something from that as well. So you will just look at that and then we move forward, and we are able to do this set quite fast because we have just done such a thing, right? अभी हम लोगों ने इसी तरह की कुछ चीज की है, therefore it becomes easy for us. Let's move ahead. So now I have already written all these things on the screen, as you can see, right? So I have already written before that after sharing it with you the solution, and then I would be showing it to you. Now look at the questions. Look at the first question over here. Okay. Okay, I'm sorry. Yes, I just saw your message. We are already at the next part of it. Please look at that. In any part, whenever you have a doubt, just put it in the comment section. I would be answering there as well. Just don't worry about it. And this is for everyone. I mean, if you are going through the video later on, so whenever you have a problem, just whatever problem you have, just put it in the comment section. I would respond over there. Okay, look at the questions. First question. The brand that had highest revenue in 16. The brand that had highest revenue in 16. Now, how do I get the revenue? See, the point is I told you, let us say this market is 100. Let us say this market is 140. Okay. If I talk about the revenue of A, the revenue of A, it would be the total market into their market share, which is 40%, into the selling price of each unit. Is that correct? Though this is something that I have assumed, it can be 100, 200, 500,000, I don't know. Similarly, if I talk about B, what is the revenue of B? The total market, which I have assumed as 100, their market share, which is 25 by 100, into their unit selling price, which is 20,000. Similarly for C, similarly for D. Now for all A, B, C, D, this figure would be the same. This figure would be the same for all of them. So ultimately, can I say it depends upon the product of these two numbers only? That means it depends upon 40 into 15,000, 25 into 20,000, 15 into 30,000, and 20 into 25,000. Now 40 into 15 is 600, 25 into 20 is 500, 15 into 30 is 450, 20 into 25 is 500. Which is highest? Azra is highest. So my answer for this question is option D, that is Azra. I repeat, because the base on which they are to be calculated, that is same for all, because total market हमें तो देखनी थी, that was same for all, right? So ultimately market share is being multiplied by the unit selling price. That means first two columns, सिर्फ उनको multiply करके देख लो, whichever is the highest, that is your answer. It's as simple as this. Okay, ठीक है? Look at the second one. The brand that had the highest profit in 2016. Now what is profit? Profit is calculated on the revenue, right? Profit is calculated on the revenue. Now what is revenue? Can I say revenue is nothing but this figure into this figure into this figure? ये अभी तो किया पिछले question में. Didn't we calculate the revenue? To calculate the profit, we also have to multiply this profitability. So this will be multiplied with this profitability of 10%. This will be multiplied with this profitability of 30%. Next will be multiplied with the profitability of 40%. So basically what are we doing for this question now? In other words, I can say we are now multiplying this and this all. तीनों को multiply कर रहे हैं. Similarly here, these three are multiplied. Similarly here, these three are multiplied. And similarly here, these three are multiplied. So 40 into 15, 600 into 10, 6,000. 25 into 20, 500 into 30. 500 into 30 is 15,000, right? 15 into 30, 450 into 40 is 18,000. And 20 into 25 into 30, that is again 15,000. So I see that C is highest. So my answer for this question is option C, CXQY. The point is you need not calculate these values exactly. The point is that you are just comparing them, which is highest, which is lowest. For all of them, the base is same. So I need not calculate these percentages and then figure out which one is highest, which one is lowest. But the most important point for which I asked you to stay till the end, that reason is for these two questions. Was that all required that we just did on the previous page? हम लोगों ने ये calculate करने में इतना time लिया. We spent a lot of time to fill up the complete table. Aren't these two questions doable only by using the initial information which is already given to us in the table? And I repeat, it's a question of actual CAT 2018. I have not changed the figures. I have not changed the questions. You can find it online as well. They are exactly the way they were given in the exam, right? Now, this is something that all of us should take care of. That is, that there are 4 questions in a set. We just did 2 of the questions. Those 2 questions did not require any kind of that hard work that we just did. I think that if the next two questions require that, probably I would not be doing it. Why to do that? I mean, you are getting answers of two questions within 2 minutes. भाई अगर मैंने पहले वाली वो सारी मेहनत ना ही की होती, I would have got the answer for these two questions in 2 minutes. For the next two questions, I will have to first make up this complete table and then do those questions that might take up around 7-8 minutes more. So should I be doing those two questions? And rather than that, shouldn't I be looking for another set in which I again find any such two questions which can be done without doing any lot of hard work? ठीक है, या फिर जो बचे हुए दो क्वेश्चन है वो मुझे तब नहीं करने चाहिए एट द एंड व्हेन आई हैव सम टाइम लेफ्ट, when I have seen the other sets, okay, I have done the easier questions from them. This is an extremely important point you all should take care of, that whenever you are appearing for any of these exams, it is not necessary to do each and every question of each and every set. This is something which is already there in our minds from the school time, that okay, whatever questions are there in the paper, you have to attempt all of them. Leaving a question is criminal. How can you leave it? But please understand this, it's a part of your strategy in these exams that you have to leave some of the questions and you have to cherry pick those questions which are to be done. In 95-96 percentile occurs at around 9-10 questions out of a good 32-33 questions. 32 में से 10 questions करने पे you get 95-97, sometimes 99 percentile as well. 32 में से 10, that means you have to do 10, you have to leave 22. For every 3 questions, you have to leave 2. You have to do 1. Leaving the questions is more important, right? So please understand this fact. This is a very, very important point over here. If I just move forward to the next 2 questions, just look at them. The next question is the brand that had highest profit in 2017. The brand that had highest profit in 2017. For this, I need the revenue of 2017 and then calculate the profitability from there. And there is an important point. We have already calculated, this was 100, this was 140. So basically अगर मैं 2017 की बात करूं, let us calculate the revenue for A. How much it would be? It is the total market 140, market share 35%, unit selling price 15,000 and profitability 10%. Similarly for B, it is 140, then market share, that is 20%, then unit selling price 20,000 and then it is 30%, and that ways we keep multiplying. Again this is same, so ultimately it depends upon their product, but yes, their product I can only calculate when I've calculated them. So for this question I had to do this all hard work. So if this is needed, honestly speaking, if I am doing this paper, मैं ऐसे केस में छोड़ दूंगा, ठीक है, मैं ऐसे केस में पहला सेट करूं, पहले 2 क्वेश्चन करूंगा, आई विल नॉट लीव द नेक्स्ट 2 क्वेश्चंस, आई विल मूव ऑन टू द नेक्स्ट सेट. अरे यार 9-10 क्वेश्चंस का टारगेट है, व्हाई वुड आई स्पेंड सो मच ऑफ टाइम इन दीस 2 क्वेश्चंस देन? दैट्स आई मीन irresponsible from my side. Okay, and look at the 4th question now, the complete list of brands whose profit went up in 17 from 16. So now let's talk about A. What was their profit in 16? It was 100 into their market share into their unit selling price into profitability. Next year it was 140 into 35 into 15,000 into 10. So for A, I see that this and this are same. So ultimately I just have to look at their product. It is 4,000 and it is 14 into 3, 42. It has increased. So can I say A's profit has increased? That means this is not my answer. सही कह रहा हूं ना? A's profit has increased, तो of course B option मेरा आंसर नहीं है. Look at B's now. अब B के बारे में बात करते हैं. If I talk about B, B के लिए कितना था? It was 100 into 25 into 20,000 into 30. Next year कितना था? 140 into 20 into 20,000 into 30. ये 30 सेम है, 20 सेम है. Ultimately it is 2,500. This is 2,800. So for B also it has increased. That means C option is also not my answer. ठीक है, now one option is ABD, one option is ABC. Similarly I will check for one more कि C है कि नहीं है. If C is there, A would be the answer. If C is not there, D would be the answer. That's a simple way of doing it, right? So how to eliminate the options, that is also important. मतलब ये बहुत सारी छोटी छोटी चीजें हैं which we will be learning in this complete series throughout. Whenever I'll be doing these sets, I'll be talking about these things. These 2 questions we should have done, this 1 question we should have done the complete set or we should have left it. Here in this question, we would have gone by the options. In this question, we would have done some approximation. In this question, we would have taken some assumptions. We will be talking about all these things in the upcoming sessions as well, in all the upcoming questions. And that is the main purpose of this complete series. So these were the two sets for today. I'm pretty sure you would have liked it. I definitely liked it, right? I'm pretty sure that you guys must have learned something from it. And if you have learned from it, please do like the session. Okay, press the like button, subscribe to our channel, because we keep bringing such series every now and then. You would be seeing on BYJU'S exam prep channel, someone would be taking a series of quant, someone would be taking a series of DI or verbal ability or GK. So just subscribe to BYJU'S exam prep channel. You will be getting all these updates there as well. So that is all for today, guys. I hope you all liked it. We will be meeting again now on the next Wednesday, again at 9 p.m. with the next new set of questions from LRDI. That's all from my side, guys. Thank you very much. See you soon. A very good night to all of you. Bye-bye.